What's up, beautiful? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kat, this is my channel, and this is a long overdue life update video. So I don't have any prompts in front of me. I'm just gonna ramble. I have mentioned quite a few different things here on my channel and on social media. If you're not following me on Instagram, I would do that because that is where I post the most regularly. I'm gonna try my very hardest to get one video a month up for you guys. It is hard as a mom, of course. It is hard as someone who is working a full-time job and a part-time job. When I have free time, what I really like to do right now is quilt. And I've talked about it a little bit here on the channel. I've done a little bit of hauling of fabric and books and all of that kind of stuff. But that is kind of where my passion is right now. Not that YouTube isn't a passion of mine, because I really love you guys. It takes a lot of cognitive effort for me to do YouTube, and quilting, while it looks very complicated, to some people works really well in my brain. I have a math-centered brain as well as a writing-centered brain, so the math in quilting is relaxing versus like sitting down and spending hours editing a YouTube video can be kind of daunting, also because I'm not really in the habit of doing it as regularly. But because I like to brag about the quilts that I've completed, let me insert some photos of things that I've completed. I'm actually going to the quilt shop tomorrow to pick up a quilt that is being completed for me. The way it works is quilts are made up of 3 pieces: the top, the batting in the middle, and the backing. Most quilters piece together the top, and then they piece together the back, and then they take it to a quilt shop and somebody sews it together, which is quilting, when you sew it together. So technically I'm piecing, but I have quilted things. I have quilted items. The hot pink quilt that I showed, I quilted that in its entirety. I did that one entirely myself. The blue and white one I also did entirely myself. But I have a 1983 Bernina sewing machine. It was my grandmother's, and it does not have the ability to do fun designs. So I will try to maybe like find a zoom in photo of something somewhere. I'm trying to think of which one. I'll include a photo of the butterfly quilt that I am picking up tomorrow, but I asked them to do a specific design on a machine. So it's called a long arm machine. It's an enormous, like 10-foot, 12-foot size machine, and it can do intricate designs in stitching. So the design I picked is thread garden, I think. And so the design looks like a bunch of flowers and leaves and blooming things, which I thought would look really pretty with the rose garden fabric that I used in the quilt. So that is what I am really excited about, is the quilting. I'm really enjoying it. I'm also still reading. I am listening to lots of books while I'm quilting, so I get to do both of my hobbies at the same time, which is really fun. Updates on my son. He is well. He's doing really, really well. For those that don't know, or I don't even remember how much I've talked about it, he has anaphylactic allergies to egg and all nuts, tree nuts and peanuts. And so we're working through figuring out what that means for him. We're hoping the egg allergy will go away, and the nut allergy likely will stay with him forever. So it's actually interesting. The nut allergy is not as big of a deal as the egg allergy. Eggs are in everything. So we are taking him at the end of May back to a children's allergy specialist. We're gonna run some blood work, see if his numbers have shifted, and if we can start doing some in-hospital introductions to egg again. The reason we found out he's allergic to eggs is I fed him an egg the way you're supposed to, and we ended up in the ER with 2 EpiPens. It took 2 EpiPens to get him to come down from it. So it was very scary. Not something, I had no idea you could react that badly to eggs. I had no idea that eggs were a major allergen, and now I know a lot of information about the 9 major allergens. And what to look for if you're having an allergic reaction. So I've never had any allergies really, and it's other than like seasonal, so it's just been kind of a big learning curve. Egg allergy runs on both sides of the family, but the people that had it on both sides of the family grew out of it, so we're hopeful. The nut allergy comes from my husband's side of the family. My father-in-law has a severe anaphylactic allergy to tree nuts. So with a peanut though, we don't know where that came from, but it can just come from anywhere. So not that it like needs to be somebody's fault, but so we're working through that. But generally he is a happy growing, almost 2-year-old. He's obsessed with Christmas. He watches The Grinch, I don't know how many times a week, 5+. And when I say The Grinch, I mean the 2018 animated Grinch. That is his Grinch of choice. I don't think he's even seen the Jim Carrey Grinch, which is a travesty, but I don't think he would respond as well to it. I think he might be afraid of him. He wants to sing Jingle Bells all the time. All the time. Jingle Bells all the time. So he's just a goofball. He loves Christmas so much that we're gonna do a Christmas birthday party. He's also born on Christmas in July, 7/25. So it just kind of makes sense that we would do a Christmas in July birthday. So that is what we're gonna do for his birthday this year. That will be exciting. I'm already planning it and figuring all of the things out. I enjoy party planning, and I'm gonna make his birthday cake is gonna be a giant Little Debbie tree cake. I'll insert a photo. I'm very excited. My dad is gonna help me make it. And there are pretty good egg substitutes, so I will be able to make a cake that he can eat, which is, there's a lot of various egg substitutes, but there's only one good one when it comes to baking that I've found. And he doesn't like the egg substitutes for like scrambled eggs. He hasn't liked any of those. But I mean, he eats so much other stuff that he's not like, he's perfectly on track with everything. The only thing he is short, which as a short girly myself, and my husband is not particularly tall, it's to be expected, and the doctor says that he's totally fine. So we are happy with where he is and how he's doing, and we're hopeful that in May we'll get some more answers for our egg allergy, and we will move on from there. So I think the biggest thing that people want an update on is my weight loss, and that's why I put it in the thumbnail, because I know that's what's gonna snag your interest. So yes, I have lost another 70 pounds. So I gained, oh my gosh, I'm doing the math in my head, 45 pounds when I was pregnant. I lost 80 pounds, let's start over. My starting weight before VSG surgery, I've never really said any of this stuff out loud, but I kind of don't care anymore. My starting weight before VSG was 261, and that is my mother texting me. I don't know what she wants. After VSG, I got to 185, and then I went back up to 230 after pregnancy, and that was when I threw the towel in and said, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't be 230. It's too close to 260. I've got to get back into the 100s. I got to figure something out. So I started by going back on the regular bariatric diet. I gained so much weight during my pregnancy because of my small stomach, but I didn't gain any weight until 6 months into my pregnancy because I was so sick. But then it was like my stomach would empty out so quickly because it was so small that if I wasn't eating constantly, I was going to throw up. And I threw up. I didn't actually throw up until second trimester, but I was still nauseous the whole time. I was nauseous. I had morning sickness the entire pregnancy. It was a nightmare. My pregnancy, I don't even know what I've said on the internet and what I haven't, but it was the worst experience of my life. I'm very grateful that I could get pregnant. I am very grateful that I am healthy. I'm grateful that my child was healthy. But I would never do that again, and I would absolutely, absolutely never force someone to go through what I went through unwillingly. So take that for what it is. The pregnancy made me even more pro-choice than I have ever been, because it was such a, I'm gonna try not to cry here. It was very traumatic. The pregnancy was very, very hard on me. And I don't think anybody should have to go through that if they don't want to. So my mental health is directly tied to my body dysmorphia and my physical appearance. So I was not doing well. And it was about Buddy's first birthday when I threw the towel in and just said, we gotta figure something out. So I started going back to the bariatric diet, and it wasn't really doing anything. And I've spoken to people on Instagram that have messaged me seeing my weight loss, saying that they have had the same thing. They've had a little bit of weight gain, which a lot of people do have weight gain after their initial weight loss on bariatric surgery. It is normal, but losing it after bariatric, like losing it a second time, is really hard. And I feel like people don't talk about it as much. Once you have weight gain after the initial loss, it's even harder, it feels like, to get it off. And I don't understand why that is. But I did decide that I needed to speak with a new medical team to come up with a solution. And I have tossed around how much I want to say on the internet about what I decided to do, because there's going to be judgment on what I decided. And it kind of feels like before I decided to post on my stomach surgery, I knew I was going to get pushback on the stomach surgery. And I did, but I just decided that I wanted to try GLP-1s. So I did, and I've lost 70 pounds. So I did some extensive research on the various types of GLP-1s and went to a medical team, decided which route I was gonna go. And I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. And if you want specific details, if you're very interested in this, if you're considering it yourself, please speak with a professional medical team and a doctor, and, look at your options and understand the risks, because there are risks.
Editing Cat here. I just want to insert a little note also that the other thing to note about these GLP-1s is that there's a lot of misinformation going around on the internet. I keep seeing posts about, like, people don't want the COVID vaccine because it's not been tested, but they'll go out and inject themselves with Ozempic without looking into that at all. I'm like, okay, I have all of it. I got the COVID vaccine. I'm doing the GLP-1 shot. But for the record, GLP-1s have been around for over 20 years, and they are FDA approved and tested, and so is the COVID vaccine. So it's just like one of those weird things that I keep hearing people say, you won't do this, but you'll inject yourself with this unknown chemical to lose weight. It's like, that's also BS and not the full story. So beware of everybody's like, there's side effects. I'm like, yeah, there's side effects with every single drug. Every single drug, there are side effects. But they never list them. Like, if you start looking, I gotta stay away from that part of the internet because it makes me rage. But back to me in the video, but just be aware of misinformation related to GLP-1s. If you're interested, then talk to a medical professional. They will tell you the risks. They will tell you the information. Don't listen to the crackpots on the internet. Even though I'm a crackpot on the internet. At least I'm a well-researched crackpot on the internet.
I, of course, am not a medical professional. This is my opinion. This is my experience. They changed my life. I'm very happy with my process. I have had side effects, but nothing that would stop me from doing it again. Mostly it's just acid reflux. But right now I'm on a maintenance dose, and I'm still losing weight on my maintenance dose. I lost 4 pounds last month on my maintenance dose. My goal is to only be on it for about a year, so that would be July of this year, and I'm gonna slowly start tapering off of it. I do not want to be on it forever, but I'm trying not to get into the nitty-gritty here because it's very personal, and there's a lot of judgment about GLP-1s and about people using them for, this reason or that reason, or only using them for weight loss, or, you need them for diabetes, or you need them for heart health, or you need them for... Here's the deal. All the people that I know that are taking them, that have the health conditions that they need to take them are taking them because they want to lose weight. Let's not lie to ourselves here, okay? And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. These people want to lose weight. They know that it works. They understand the side effects. They have spoken to their doctor about it, and somebody has prescribed them a medication. To get these drugs, in my opinion, in the most ethical way, you need a prescription. You can get one without a prescription. You can get those drugs without prescriptions. I don't trust any of those websites personally. I did not go that route. I went through a medical professional. I do an injection once a week, and the weight fell off. Now that's just my experience. Most of the people that I know that are taking it, the weight is falling off of them. And of the people that I know, they are all taking different GLP-1s. So I'm taking the same one as a couple people I know, and then I know a couple other people that are taking a different one. But I have never had anybody talk to me about food noise before. And that, I think, is the difference between somebody that has an ED and somebody that doesn't. And, you know, EDs can go both ways. You either undereat or you overeat. I have an overeating ED, and it comes down to food noise for me. And that is, you know, you're sitting on the couch and it's 10 p.m. and this little voice in the back of your head says, there's Oreos in your cabinet. You should eat the entire packet. And then, because you can't finish on sweet, you've got to eat some Cheez-Its to balance it out with the salty. And then if you ignore it, it'll come back in 5 minutes. Hey, don't forget about those Oreos and the Cheez-Its. And you're like, can you just shut up? I want to just watch the show. Nope, you need to go get those Oreos and the Cheez-Its. Go get them. Or you see a commercial for something, and then all of a sudden you're like, crap, I have to go to Burger King. I have to go to Burger King, get a double Whopper with extra cheese, because that's going to be stuck in my brain until I go get it, and it will not shut up. The GLP-1s shut that off, or at least the one I'm on shuts off the food noise. Have you ever like wondered about those people that are like, oh, I forgot to eat lunch, and you're like, how the heck did you forget to eat lunch? Are you insane? Those people don't have food noise. That's what it is. I no longer have food noise. It shut this stuff in my brain off, and now I can focus on my life and my kid and other things. That's the other thing about quilting, is that it keeps my hands busy, so I'm not snacking. I'm reading a book, so I'm listening to that, and I'm focusing on something else, so I can't think about food. And the food noise is shut off. So what I'm trying to do is, as I'm reducing my dose, I'm trying to come up with coping mechanisms or other ways to keep myself from going back to the cravings and thinking about that. So that's the scary part about coming off of them, is knowing that the food noise will come back. When I had some GI upset earlier this year, I had to come off of the GLP-1 to have procedures done and things like that. And I still lost weight when I was off of it, which was really exciting, because it told me that the habits that I put in place now are gonna be able to get me through. I did prefer to go back on it. I could have stayed off of it, but I did want to go back on it because I wasn't done at that point with the weight loss. But I am 157 right now, and that is the lowest weight I have been since college. My lowest weight in college was 143, which the fact that that is even a possibility right now is really wild to me. So, and I remember being 143 thinking that I was overweight. So it's always that thing, right? You look back at your photos when you thought you were overweight and you're like, good God, if I could just go back there, that would be fabulous. But I know some people are not going to be happy that I went the GLP-1 route. If you have questions, you're interested in learning more about specifics, I don't think I'm going to make a video on it, but I hope this has given you enough information on what I've done and how I've gotten here. You can DM me and ask questions. I have been transparent with some people that I know, but like I didn't tell anybody I was doing this. I didn't even tell my parents until a few months ago. The most important thing is that if you're gonna do these drugs, you've got to get your brain right, and you've got to get your habits back. So that was where I went wrong. I didn't go wrong, right? I had I had to change my eating habits to keep myself and my baby alive while I was pregnant. I had to change them after I'd worked so hard to get into a good spot with my eating to make sure that we stayed alive while I was pregnant, and then getting my head back on correctly to get back into my old eating habits that did work for me. And I kept my weight off with VSG for 2 years without any help. So I just needed to get my head on straight. It's been almost a year of doing that. I am confident in myself that I can keep this weight off. And I'm really, really happy with where I am and how my body looks. And I mean, there's still things that I don't love, and now there's new things, right? Like there's the loose skin here, and I've got a little bit on my tummy, but generally speaking, I'm pretty happy. And I hope that you will be kind and courteous in the comments, because I know it's gonna rub some people the wrong way. But that is my mini life update. If you have GLP-1 related questions, DM them to me on Instagram. I'm probably not gonna put things in the comments. If you have general other questions, or you have video suggestions of things that you'd like to see, leave those in the comments. Leave me your favorite flower emoji in the comments below if you made it this far. I love you all. Thank you for being you. I hope you are doing well. Please know that someone out there is thinking of you. You are worthy, and I love you. And I'll catch you in the next one. Love you, Warrior Crew. Bye.